want to thank you today for joining us on this exciting day, this very exciting day. We want to thank you for joining us and to, if we can, earn your subscription today. I know there's a lot of people interested in this bus, and I want you to know today is a very exciting day for me as well as the whole family. Today is the day where I want to see if the bus will start. I had a little a scare this last week over the starter issue. I know that the starter is a helix driven starter with a little flapper on the top. That's the only way I can explain it, which you can manually start the bus with a starter, but they don't make parts for these starters anymore. So the other day I was trying to testing the starter to see if it was good, and it wouldn't even roll over the bus. So I got a little nervous because these starters are $700 brand new with a $250 core charge, and you cannot use these old starters for core because you can't rebuild them. So I got to thinking about what the guy who rebuilt my starter said. I think what he did was just refreshed it with the existing parts. So the starter is not rebuilt, but last night I tested it after I spent about 20 minutes in the battery compartment, cleaning the battery terminals and getting it ready, make sure the battery was topped off. And last night I hit the starter with the trigger, and it instantly started cranking. So I knew that it wasn't the starter. The bus was also in gear, so when I hit the starter with all that ampage hitting the starter from the batteries after I cleaned the terminals, the bus started lurching forward. It's really wanting to go. So I thank you for joining today, and I hope that you enjoy this video. And as soon as I get this bus started, I got the fuel lines primed. It's full of fuel. I got the valve cover off where I can turn it off. So right now, all I'm going to do is put my trigger on the starter and see if it'll work. All right, here's the exciting moment. It ran out of diesel, I guess. Don't know why it was like it was starving for diesel. Okay, you saw it running, and it sounded like it was trying to run away. I know that the injectors are not sticking, so what it was the driver's accelerator pedal was sticking, or at least it was halfway depressed. So, and obviously it's so corroded up there that we had to WD-40 it to death just to get it to loosen up. But it will idle. The problem is it keeps losing its prime. So even though I prime the lines and get it ready, I blew air back into the tank, and so there's no obstruction between the tank and the primary fuel filter. I even took off the check valve so I could fill the lines with fuel. I think the problem that I'm facing is a bad fuel pump. Now, I'm not talking about my electronic pump. I'm talking about my fuel pump for the manual fuel pump for the Detroit diesel. So I can test it, but I think it's just probably best just get another one. So that's where we are right now on the engine. I'm probably going to leave it like this for a while. I know the engine will run, but I think what I'm going to do is just go to other parts of the bus, especially finishing the destination sign. So that's where we are with the engine. So I do know it runs. I just got to get the pump put on and probably a water pump put on. So this bus has been sitting for 14 years, and this is probably the reason why the bus was parked, was because of the pump. So I'm assuming that. I just don't know that for a fact, but just one step at a time. That's where we are. Did have some time to take the old electronic compartment out of here, all the old wires, and I'm telling you, they were pretty bad. So I'll show you here in a few minutes what they look like. So here is the compartment, the power regulator and the old circuit panel. As you can see, the circuit panel is toast. I mean, it's toasty. But what do you expect? It's 70 years old. And I'm going to replace this with a fuse box as I rewire the complete bus. I'm talking about all factory wires are going to be taken out. As you can see, this factory wire, how it was connected to right here, was also taken out. I mean, they're stiff, and of course you can see some of the corrosion on them. So as you can see, I'm not going to fight corrosion, especially old wire. And you remember what I said the last time: corrosion is a chemical break, and it doesn't matter if it's battery cable or trailer wire. If the wire looks good and you still don't have continuity, or you still ain't got voltage going to one point to the lights in the back of the trailer, it's probably because the wire is corroded. So for me to minimize all that diagnostics and going through all that rigmarole, I'm just going to rerun new wires and know that my wiring is going to be good, and because I'm not going to have any splits in the middle anywhere. That's what this electrical compartment's for. All my wiring is going to be run right to there and up to the compartment by the driver's electrical compartment, and 2 fuse boxes is what I'm planning on doing. But you can get a look at this power regulator, and this right here happens to be the starter relay, factory starter relay, and as you can tell, it's the reason why it wouldn't start up there at the very front when I first started the bus back in December, was probably because this is all rusted out. And you can see that this right here is completely gone, and I assume that this is 1954 power regulator. You can see the corrosion on the wire. I'm not complaining about the corrosion. That's what I expect. So that's the reason why I'm planning on replacing everything. This is a good relay. I don't know what it went to. I assume it was for the lavatory, but the lavatory, talking about the lavatory, I did have a chance to look at the bus behind this location, and I assume that it was taken out in antiquity, because you can see very well there is nothing in there. Now, if there is something in there, when I take the floor out, I'll let you know, but I don't think that there's a factory Greyhound lavatory tank in here. I think it was taken out back in the 60s. So that tells me that one time or another, this bus was really taken care of back in the 60s after it left the Greyhound, and it was stripped of all the bathroom, the factory Greyhound bathroom that was in there, and so they converted it. I don't know what that looks like, but if anybody who's watching this right now who knows the Watchman quartet from the 50s and the 60s, this was probably their bus, and I know that this was their bus because I was told it was their bus. They sold it back in the early 80s to somebody in Bonita Springs, so we got this from. So any other information before the time we got it, I would greatly appreciate it. So the key words here is Watchman Quartet and 4104. So you can see the progress in which I have made today. It doesn't seem much, but I guarantee you I've been working on it all day long. I greatly thank you for watching today, and I hope you have a blessed day, and may the Lord greatly enrich you. God bless. Bye-bye.